All right, guys, welcome back. Outcome 3, Key Knowledge 9. As I said in the last video, we are moving on to competitors, the second of the fourth operating factor that we need to be looking at in this outcome. Here is our study design, and you can see competitors' behavior. That's all it says. Nothing more, nothing less in the study design for this one. And there we see it in our little diagram, which by now should be imprinted in your brain, hopefully. Now, competitors. At the end of the day, business is a competition, okay? Just like any other competition, okay? We have our classic competitions in the business world. We have Pepsi v Coke, classic competition. You know, we have the Big Mac versus the Whopper, or McDonald's versus Burger King, or Hungry Jack's as it is in Australia. Apple versus Samsung. The footwear, sports footwear, tons and tons of different operation. Very, very competitive market. The Australian grocery or the supermarket market. Okay, Coles and Coles and Woolworths, the two biggies. Aldi, the third largest at this stage, and kind of year on year is gaining traction on the two leaders. The four big banks, the big four. Okay, that's what they're referred to as in the banking world, the big four. Mobile phone network providers. Okay, we've got Telstra, we have our Optus, and we have our Vodafone. Again, all competing with one another in the same space for the same customers. Good guys, JB Hi-Fi, Harvey Norman. You know, you want to buy an electrical good, there's generally your three options. Well, again, I don't know what percentage of the market they hold between them, but it would be a huge proportion of the type of products that they sell that they hold between the three of them, those particular businesses. Even local competition. So Monty, Weir Street, all the cafes are up there. Again, each cafe is competing with the other cafes and food businesses in Weir Street. So what does all of this mean? Okay, when you're planning a business, as well as thinking about your customers, the economic conditions, society's attitudes, corporate social responsibility, and all of that other stuff in the external environment that we've now been talking about for the last few weeks, it's essential that you also think really carefully about your competition, okay? Both existing competition and potential competition, okay? Now, we don't have control over the actions of our competitors, obviously, but what we can do is plan how we respond to and anticipate those actions, and we may very well interact with them as well. Okay, that depends on the nature of the business, depends on the business itself, but very often competing businesses, you know, stay in pretty close contact with one another as well. But the key here is, although we don't control our competitors, what we can control is how we respond to and anticipate their movements. Okay, so the first step, okay, remember we're talking about business planning here, is market research. Okay, that's all I'll say here. Key Knowledge 1.1.8, we went into a little bit more detail on what market research is, but that's your first point. If you're planning a business, you need to be doing some extensive market research, and obviously at that stage you're going to be finding out all about what competition is already out there in the space that you're planning to kind of play in. Going to get a good understanding of what's out there already, who might be coming into that space as well. So that allows you to make decisions about your own products and how then ultimately you can differentiate yourself in the market, which is obviously going to be key. And then from that point forwards, okay, from once you've done your initial market research, from that point forwards and through the entire life of the business, what you've got to be doing is constantly monitoring the market, okay? Are there any new competitors entering the market? Have our existing competitors introduced any new products? Have our existing competitors changed their pricing strategies in some way? Are there any other businesses out there offering customers something different or better than what it is that you are offering? Okay, got to be constantly looking out there and looking to answer these questions. And if the answer is yes to any of those questions, what you need to do is react and respond. If you sit back and do nothing, it's probably ultimately going to lead to your business failing. Okay. You've got to have a reaction and a response if the answer to any of those questions you see there is yes. So I say you need to respond and react. How might we react? Okay. So obviously the reaction that we're going to come up with depends on the issue, or, the answer of which question we saw before was yes, but it depends what we're seeing in the market. But some common strategies which can answer some of those questions. Okay, is it possible that you could now produce your products for less? Okay, thereby allowing you to lower the selling price to be more competitive. So I guess if you saw that prices were dropping in the market and you were now being kind of priced out of the market, you were trying to sell for higher than competitors. One of your strategies, you look within your business and say, look, is there a way that I can produce what I'm producing for less money, which then allows me to drop my prices accordingly, therefore pricing myself back in the market? Is it possible for you to increase the quality of your product or differentiate it in some way to justify a higher selling price, maybe? So again, you're looking inwards at your business. What can I do about increasing the quality of the product or the service that I'm providing my customers? Thirdly, could you introduce some kind of incentive or loyalty scheme to encourage customers to stay with you? Okay, these are pretty common these days. The Woolies rewards card, flybys, classic examples of that. Even when you tick off when you buy coffee, and every 5th coffee or 10th coffee or whatever it might be, you get a free one. Obviously, the idea is to get you to keep coming back. Lots of different ways that loyalty and incentive schemes work. There's just a couple of examples for you. That's all there is to this one. So the key is constantly looking at your competitors. What are they doing? Are they getting one up on my business? And if so, I need to react and respond. Otherwise, my business ultimately is probably going to fail. Simple as that. All right, guys, I will see you in the next video. Cheers for now.